I've watched a lot of rom-com series, so I'm very familiar with the old trope of the childhood friend. The childhood friend that always loses, a trope that is so common in Japanese storytelling. There's literally a light novel called The Childhood Friend Won't Lose. It's that bad. But I've never experienced a moment where it feels like the author hates the childhood friend. I really feel like with Can a Boy-Girl Friendship Survive, this author hates the childhood friend, and they want us to hate this girl because Himari from this series, she's a bit much. She's a bit much. But yes, I've watched the first 3 episodes of the series, which actually worked out very well because I felt like the writing in the first 2 episodes felt very off. And with the 3rd episode, with the drama really kicking up, it's giving me a clear sign that I'm probably not going to like this series and I probably will drop it. But I'm going to get into that and so much more with my impressions on the series, so let's jump into it. Can a Boy-Girl Friendship Survive opens up with a guy named Yuujou Natsume. And he really likes to make little trinkets and accessories using different flowers and whatnot. And yes, at some point he's trying to sell a lot of these, and this girl named Himari helps him sell them. And at that point, the two of them become really close friends. She wants to support him because she likes to look in his eyes whenever he's making the trinkets. That sparkle in his eyes. She just loves it. And in return for being able to have his eyes, as she claims, she's going to model for him, help him sell these trinkets, and which works out. Cut forward, he's been selling them online through his family's convenience store, and everything's working out well. She's doing her modeling, he's doing the stuff. Every now and then they get together in their own little space, this little club room where the two of them kind of just have a lot of fun together. Well, she sits there and teases him as he tries to make his trinkets. And all the while, the question mark is, the two of them seem to be really close. Why aren't they more than just friends? Well, this is, again, a decision they make. They were going to be friends forever. They'll never be any closer than that. So whenever it jumps into the mind of Himari, she likes to be around him, but never more than friends. Jump in the mind of Yuujou. She's so freaking cute, but will never be more than friends. Well, insert somebody to kind of shake things up. A girl named Rion who's been kind of watching Himari for a while, seeing all the different trinkets that she has, and through kind of watching Himari, eventually discovers who's making these trinkets, which is Yuujou. And she's actually fell in love with Yuujou through his trinkets. And the idea of seeing the passion that is put into something kind of shows you the true heart of the one that crafted it. And so Himari, learning about this, is trying to help Yuujou out, decides to help Rion meet Yuujou, and the two of them get together. Well, as usual with these types of stories, once things start to kind of blossom between Yuujou and Rion, Himari doesn't like it. Things are changing around her that she doesn't like. The idea that now Yuujou is not responding to her teasing like he usually does. She liked how he used to respond to her, but now Rion's always there. But additionally, yes, Mari's always loved Yuujou, and now she's starting to get jealous. Now she's not liking the idea that Yuujou might actually get with Rion. And this all culminates to a point where, yes, he's trying to find new inspiration, so somebody suggests that Rion become his new model, and this infuriates Himari. She wants to break up with Yuujou. Doesn't want to be friends anymore. I'm never going to talk to you anymore. Which that's pretty much how they conclude episode 3. Kind of a stinker for the entire series for me, honestly. But that's good. That's good. That gets into my thoughts on this series overall. And I really liked that I got to that end of that 3rd episode point because it sort of cemented my overall feelings of this writer overall. I feel like this writer isn't a good writer. And that's probably going to bug a lot of people that are really enjoying this show. I just feel like the writing's off. It's kind of a similar feeling that I had to Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. I felt like a lot of dialogue exchange in that series just felt like, who talks like this? Like, what is the situation? Who does this? This doesn't feel natural. But which is fine, honestly, for rom-coms. It's not like I'm like hyper detail analyzing the mental state of these characters. They're obviously fictitious. But there is a moment for me personally where when the writing feels so off and I want to get invested in the characters, it's hard to because they feel so off that I can't relate to it. And that's definitely what I'm getting with this series overall. But my biggest sticking point was, okay, I can manage this because I like the characters. I mean, Himari's cute. She's just a little gremlin, constantly jumping around you, grabbing him. These are the most, desired arms, and you're the most huggable neck. So I'm not letting you go. And so she's grabbed around him, and he's trying to get her off and all that kind of stuff. It's super cute. The exchange between you and Himari was just super fun. There was almost a side of me that wished that the series just kind of continued that on and just have their relationship blossom. But unfortunately, we have to throw in the love triangle. We always have to have that whole split happen there where suddenly Himari's jealous, and now we have to have drama mixed into it. And I just feel like I needed to see that drama. And so going into episode 3, it presented that drama, even though it doesn't feel like they want to stick with it because it still has a comedic feel to it. That moment that Himari dumps the water on him and they both scream is still played out comically, but it's a very disrespectful scene in usual shows. And so you have that mixed emotion there. But again, it plays into my struggle with the writing overall, where these characters just feel weird. They just feel weird. They don't feel like humans that you're trying to relate to in any way, shape, or form. It's a struggle for me. It's honestly a struggle for me. I wanted to like the show, though. Like, early on, again, I like the chemistry between Yu and Himari. A lot of the comedy is in Yu's head. And the idea that whenever Himari does something, she looks super cute doing it. This is a girl that knows that she's cute. And so she does a lot of things that are very cutesy in order to get his attention. Gets very close up with him. And he constantly in his own mind is thinking, yeah, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, I'm so cute. You definitely want me to tease you because anybody would want me to tease them. That kind of stuff was a lot of fun. And yes, when Rion joins the scene, having that whole scene where she grabs her by the head and pulls her up, and then suddenly she just goes, grabs onto the chest, and she's sitting there flinging her around. It was super cute, super fun. The characters were good. They were solid. But I think it was about the point where we had the reveal where Yu and Rion knew each other from a long time ago. Yes, we have to have that trope. Like, for some reason, Rion literally finds this trinket, discovers where he's at, and suddenly, oh, that's right, we knew each other from a long time ago. You're the destined one, right? From then on, it just felt like the writing went off. And again, a lot of that had to do with the fact that now Himari was being jealous. She was now seeing that Yu was different. He was responding to her differently. Suddenly, he's not reacting the usual way whenever I tease him. That kind of stuff was coming up. Suddenly, and you can see it from the other perspective, is the idea that, yes, technically right now, Yu is concerned about what Rion will think when they get, like, very close. He's now more self-conscious of how forward Himari's being and is trying to push back more. And this is setting off Himari. She doesn't like it. No, I don't like this. It feels different. It feels different. I'm losing what I once had. But additionally, yes, now she's concerned. Yu is going to have a relationship with Rion, and I don't like that because I've always liked Yu. Now we're finally creeping up the whole childhood friend thing where they waited too long. They pushed back too long. They always wanted to be friends, but now relationships are happening. I can give a little bit of respect to this writer for presenting this story concept differently. Usually with this type of storytelling, it gets in the idea that I never wanted to lose this. That if we get too close, if we have a relationship, there's a possibility that it might break our friendship. That if I present myself to them as a love interest, we will lose what we once had. We will no longer be friends. But here's more of the idea that we've always had that blockade and we will never overstep that bound. It will never be anything more than this. Do not cross that bound. But yes, the frustration that builds here is it quickly shifts into I want to get these two together. Wait, I don't want them together. It's frustrating. It's literally frustrating. And again, that gets into why I think the writer just doesn't know what they're doing half the time. Because 1 second, Himari is literally going, you two get together. And then immediately the next second, it's get away from each other. You two get together. No, get away from each other. No, you two. It's over and over again. It's like, girl, make up your mind. Do you want them together or you don't? I understand that frustration, that mixed feelings that she has. Her emotions are going crazy, but it's frustrating to watch. The way that it plays out in each scene is so aggravating. This is where I feel like this writer doesn't know what they're doing. Either that or the adaptation's failing miserably. Sometimes I will acknowledge in some cases it's just the adaptation is either putting scenes together or they're just not adapting it right. Either way, like I said at the very beginning, Himari is unbearable right now. Like, she is so obnoxious right now, and it feels like the writer is making me want to hate her. I think she's cute. She's a bundle of fun. She's a little gremlin. But holy crap, girl, you are getting so obnoxious in every single scene. It makes you dread when she comes on the scene. You'll have a scene where it's you and Rion, and he's making things together with her, and you're like, oh, so Himari's not here. And then suddenly Himari pops up, and it's like, oh gosh, she is in the scene. I don't want to feel that way about a character, especially a character that from the first 2 episodes, I thought she was a lot of fun. It just, again, feels like the writer is trying to make you hate her. It feels like the writer hates the childhood friend character, and they're trying to make you hate her. I don't know. Either way, it all kind of culminates to something that's just not very enjoyable. And I want to enjoy it because it's got an interesting concept here. It's just, it feels like this writer is not good at writing romance. They're not good at writing drama specifically, because when it tries to get in the drama, it falls apart. When it's comedy, when it's romance, it works because it's a lot of just kind of back and forth, a lot of goofy little exchanges, constant jabbing, teasing, that kind of stuff. They're good at that stuff. They're good at teasing. But when it comes into like what is romance, what is love, all that kind of stuff, it suddenly falls apart. And it doesn't help that the show is falling apart visually, too. Oh my gosh, dude. From the first 2 episodes, I felt wonkiness. Like, there was constantly shots where it felt off. Even the very comedic moment where Himari grabs onto Rion's chest and she's flinging her around, it looks super off. It was just basically like 3 different frames just kind of repeated over and over again. It just didn't have much motion to it. But yeah, it was struggling. And going into episode 3, it just gets worse. Episode 3, it just got way worse. Like, so many of those shots, the characters walking by the scene or whatever, it just... Who is this character on the screen right now? JC Staff isn't like the greatest studio ever. There's a lot of projects they have that are like this quality. It's like they have a B team, and this is the B team. This B team is not holding it together. Like, they got the first couple episodes done, and now I assume it's probably going to go downhill from here. But we'll see. We'll see if they can hold it together. But yeah, in the end... I wanted to like it, but I just don't think this show is going to hold together. I'm going to give it one more episode. I think episode 4 is going to be extremely telling for me, because the question mark is going to be is if they're going to hold it to be very dramatic. How quickly are they going to shift it back? My assumption that's going to happen is that Himari is going to separate herself from you, but she's constantly going to be watching them, and something's going to probably blossom between you and Rion. And then at some point, Himari's going to come back in the picture and finally, express herself. Because my assumption that the story could go in the direction of is it's probably going to have at some point, Yu is going to actively pursue Himari. Because it's wrote that Yu actually loves Himari. I haven't really seen too much inner dialogue from Yu that he's romantically interested in Rion. She's cute. She's hot. But he's not romantically interested in her. Typically, whenever he thinks about Rion, it's usually about how the accessory goes on her. He says that, I'm not really good with cute girls, but I look at them because I like to see where the accessory would go on them, how it would look on them. Whereas with Himari, he always looks at her with a love interest in mind. He always looks at her romantically. She's different. Himari is not just a model. Rion's a model. Himari is more. And so my assumption the writer would eventually go into is probably the direction of, yes, because the two of them internally love each other over here, he would probably pursue Himari. And then at some point, because they hate childhood friends, at some point he'll just pivot, I love Rion. And that's probably where the story would probably end in the end. But we'll see. I don't know. Maybe it won't sucker us out of the story overall. Either way, we'll see. Episode 4 is going to be telling, but that's my thoughts on the show so far. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment. Let me know what you think. Am I off base? Do you guys actually really like this show? Let me know down in the comments down below. Additionally, if you're new here, subscribe before you leave. Like this content, you want to support more, links in the description below. Great day, but until next time, y'all take care.